I'm Corporal Tracey Knight. Welcome to the very first edition of Fort Worth PD3D, a new three-dimensional view of some of the happenings within your Fort Worth Police Department. Fort Worth PD3D will appear on the Inside FWPD YouTube channel, and we'll also post the links of our webcast on our Facebook and Twitter pages, so be sure to follow us at Fort Worth PD on Twitter and Inside FWPD on Facebook. Okay, so now on to the show. Many of our citizens ask us, how do I become a Fort Worth police officer? So who I have here today is Officer John Choyce. He is our lead recruiter with the Fort Worth Police Department, and he's here to help answer some of these questions. So John, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first, how long you've been on the department, what made you want to be a recruiter, that sort of thing.
Okay, so I've been with the City of Fort Worth, the Police Department, for roughly 23 years, almost 23 years exactly. And what made me want to become a recruiter is I looked around at the way we were recruiting. We looked at our diversity issues, and I thought that I could assist in those areas. And so I was fortunate enough to interview for the job and get the job as the Fort Worth Police recruiter.
And you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
As someone who, I've been here for about 20 years, and this is the most robust, I think, our recruiting has been. Would you agree with me?
I would agree. We're starting to get a lot of...
Robust, a good word to use?
I want to say that, yeah. We're getting a lot of interest from various groups, various people from all over the country, and certainly here within the Fort Worth area. So we're tracking well. We're enjoying it.
Speaking of interest, we posted on our Facebook and Twitter pages that you were going to be here today. So some of our followers have asked some questions,
okay,
and you're here to answer those questions.
Yes.
Because you're the expert. So the first question we have here is from Brian. He asked, how long are applications held? I'm in the military and have the opportunity to get out next spring, so I wanted to see how long I would be eligible once I submit my info.
Typically, Brian, what used to be the case is that we would hold the applications for almost a year until we exhausted the list, and that's a term we used, exhausted the list. We're now looking at our processes, having talked to the chiefs, the command staff. We want to improve our processes, and so you're going to see in the future that those application lists will be held probably no more than 2 months if we can get it down to that, so that we can move on to the next phase of testing. As it is now, currently we test once or twice a year. We want to do better than that. We want to track with our competition, and some of the other agencies test once a month or once a quarter, and if we get our way, we're going to be testing once a month or once a quarter. So that's going to lessen the time that we'll keep the applications on file.
If John gets his way, we'll be testing once a month.
I would certainly like that. So
what will be your advice to Brian on what should be his next step?
Well, being in the military, I can understand his quandary there. I'm retired military. What I would want to do, or want to advise you to do, is to wait probably 3-4 months prior to you getting out the military, make contact with us so that we could see what the next scheduled testing series will be like, and then we'll get you on track that way. Meantime, if you'd like to email me, of course, or contact me, I'll be glad to send you the study guide for the written exam.
And that email would be right here about, hopefully, john.choice@fortworthtexas.gov.
And if you need to, can I give my cellular number?
Sure.
Work cellular.
Give it to them. You're going to get some phone calls.
Okay, that's fine. Work cellular number is 817-944-0184. Please bear with me. I return all my calls, and I'll be glad to talk with you at that time so that we can get your email address and get you set up that way on our contact group.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
How about on to our next question here? I think this one was from Twitter. Was this from Twitter or Facebook? Facebook, okay. And it's from Kenneth King. Mr. King says, I'm a current police officer and would like to work for Fort Worth PD, and you should. Do you know if the department will offer another abbreviated academy?
Absolutely. Chief Halstead is huge on the idea of having what we call an Elio Academy, Law Enforcement Only Academy. We're reviewing the processes for that. We've interviewed personnel from other agencies that have that type of academy, in place, and I can tell you that my chief, Chief Reed, Assistant Chief Garcia, are reviewing those processes now as we speak. So I would think that within the next 6 to 8 months, hopefully we'll have something in place, and we'll be set up to start that process for you all, the Elio Academy. We appreciate that interest from police officers from all over that want to come here, and we want to make that happen. And
as an officer of 20 years, we like to have officers come from other departments, and we try to steal as many of them as we can for our department. So please come to Fort Worth PD. So I hope that helped you, Kenneth King. How about this?
Okay.
How about if somebody wants to, what can they do today?
Today, that's a great question. So we've already taken applications. We took them on July 8th, and so that application period is done. We're going to give the test on the 24th of July. But going forward, what you can do is you can contact us. Contact me via email or cellular phone expressing an interest, and what I will do is send you a copy of the study guide for the written exam. We also have a contact database form that I'd like for you to fill out. I'll send that to you via email. You'll send it back, and we'll add you to our contact group. The way that works is, in the event we're taking applications again sooner than the 6 or 7 months that's projected out, you'll be notified immediately. And if we're taking them later, you'll be kept into the loop as to when we'll be actually taking applications. So that's what we could do at this point right now.
And one other question that I get a lot is, why is our recruiting team going all over the country? How come we're not recruiting in Fort Worth?
That's an excellent question. We would love to have majority of our recruits be from this area, but that's not realistic. There are stringent requirements for being a police officer. We're competing with police agencies from the neighboring cities: Dallas, Garland, Grand Prairie, Forest Hills, Mesquite. I could go on and on, Duncanville, DeSoto. I meet with those recruiters. We're all looking for that applicant that meets the requirements for our police agencies, Irving and DPS. So we're finding ourselves competing for the same applicant pool. And to attract the best talent, we're expanding outward. We're going to colleges, various colleges all over the country, to attract the attention to the city of Fort Worth. And it's beginning to trend in the right direction. It's working out. And so we want the best talent here. So we will go out to those cities to find the best talent.
And we do recruit here in Fort Worth.
Absolutely.
It's just we also recruit other places.
We recruit here specifically, and we go outward, and so that's a big thing for us.
I know lately you've been going to HBCs, historically black colleges.
Yes.
And, you were telling me something that I found interesting. Historically Hispanic colleges?
Yes.
HCs?
Okay, so we know that we have a deficit, and we're honest about that, with African Americans, Hispanics, and females. And so we trend in the direction to where we go to develop relationships with all of the historically black colleges and universities. So we fly into those areas, visit them, announce who we are, give business cards, and we start developing those relationships. We talk to the student bodies there, and we also go to HSIs, which are Hispanic Service Institutions. Mm-hmm. Now, they're mirror images of historically black colleges and universities, albeit there are quite a few more of them, and so we definitely want that interest as well. And again, lastly, we go to the women's universities because we want to attract that group of people here as well.
Let me answer a question before we get it. I'm going to get it anyway. Mm-hmm. But yes, we want white males.
Oh, absolutely.
We want all qualified applicants. We do have a deficit in certain areas. We're trying to rectify that.
Yes.
And the goal, correct me if I'm wrong, is for our police department to mirror the citizens that we police. That's what the goal of every police department is, and Fort Worth is no different. So Yes, we recruit
Yes.
white males as well, but we have to make a little bit more of a concerted effort in some areas because we have a little bit of a deficit in that area.
I think that, and that's the key word, we're making a concerted effort to address the deficits that we have within the police department. White males, yes, we're going to always maintain that attraction and recruit those individuals. And as a matter of fact, when we go to a city, I'll give you Philadelphia, which will be there Sunday through Tuesday. We're going to visit the HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. We're going to visit the Hispanic service institutions. We're going to visit the women's colleges. But we're also going to visit what I call the mainstream colleges, where you're going to have a mixture of all of them. And certainly Anglo males will be there, white males will be there too. So that's, we're not going to forego that attention to those colleges and that applicant pool.
Before we go, what's the one thing you want everyone to know about recruiting or about how to become a Fort Worth police officer?
I want everybody to know that we're looking for the cream of the crop. I say that all the time. We want people to have that interest in Fort Worth PD, and if they will just contact us, we'd be glad to come out. I talk to people one-on-one. I talk to them in groups, and I'm glad to talk to them about what it takes to be a Fort Worth police officer.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you, Officer Choyce. Officer Choyce, again, is our lead recruiter. And remember, if you have any questions about recruiting, you can contact us on Twitter or Facebook. And we'll also give you John Choyce's email address so you can contact him directly. If you give your phone number out one more time, please,
yes,
sir.
817-944-0184. I look forward to hearing from you.
And speaking as someone who gets a lot of inquiries because of where my job is here, I think that if you have the capability to email the question, that would be preferable so we can make sure and get all those questions answered. And
Absolutely.
Please feel free to ask your question on all our platforms. You can ask them on Twitter, Facebook, call and email John. You'll make sure and get an answer. So thanks again for joining us on our very first edition of Fort Worth PD3D. I'm Corporal Knight. Good night.